The school board meeting of Tuesday, May 7th, to order. If we can get your attention, we will. Is the mic on? We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order for Tuesday, May 7th. We begin each meeting with an invocation, which tonight will be led by Pastor Todd Prather from the Canoe Creek Christian Church, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Tom Rademacher, principal at Neptune Middle School. Our national anthem will be performed by Samantha Sosa, who's a student from the Osceola School for the Arts, followed by our mission statement, which will be read by April Jackson. Is April here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're hiding. Okay. And translation service will be offered by Miss Belinda Reyes. If you'll please stand with me for the invocation, and Pastor Prather, you can come forward.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this night. God, we thank you for each man and woman represented on this board. God, I pray that you would guide them, direct them. God, we thank you for another successful school year. God, we pray as we close out a school year, God, that you would give us vision, you would give us wisdom, God, just for the decisions that need to be made. And bless this night. In your whole name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare, bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The mission statement for the School District of Osceola County is inspiring all learners to reach their highest potential as responsible, productive citizens.
Buenas tardes. Oh, I started with a second. Good afternoon. My name is Belinda Reyes, and I am here to provide translation services. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Belinda Reyes y estoy aquí para proveer el servicio de traducción.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes. And Samantha, thank you very much. That's beautiful. The talent in this district continues to amaze, and I think we have a whole bunch of other students here coming up in just a few minutes, too. Prior to that, though, brings us to our board comments section of the agenda.
Yes,
Eric,
yes, I do. I do have a few comments. I'll be brief. First, I was very honored to have attended the Osceola Scholars, where our student representative was there, and she has committed herself to University of Tampa, so it was an honor to be there. Mr. Weiser and I were both privileged to experience that. Also, I wanted to call out a teacher from Denjon. Her name is Marcia Clark Dorico. She is actually being honored at the NAACP with the Educators Award, so if you know her, please congratulate her. And last but not least, I had the exceptional privilege of attending New Beginnings' first ever literacy night. It was really well attended, and I learned so much. We had poets, and I got my library card, which I did have, but I had to renew it. I didn't know where it was, so I got a new one, which was a pleasure to be there. So awesome job to the New Beginnings staff and teachers.
Great comments. I don't have it.
Okay. President? Dr. Pace?
I would only echo Ms. Castillo in that our Osceola Scholars event was tremendous. Thank you to our community relations team, our school guidance counselors, career and college and career counselors, principals, teachers, who have all really encouraged our children and our students to truly reach for the stars. While we know that college is not the only pathway and we encourage our students to pursue their industry certification, I am proud to share that we had over 76 students earn their AA degree this year, along with their high school diploma, which is double what we did last year and about 4 times where we were 3 years ago. And over 450 students recognized for being accepted to a top-tier college or university or conservatory or military experience for the coming year. So great things ahead for our students, and I appreciate the hard work of our teachers. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, who are working each and every day to help make sure they're prepared from VPK all the way through our graduate students at OTEC. So we're proud of all of them.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move on to something fun. Ms. Clayton, Ms. Hickey, you want to lead us in the recognition of our science fair, science fair students?
Certainly. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Dr. Pace. The middle school and high school curriculum and instruction departments would like to take a moment to recognize our teachers and our students who participated in the 64th State Science and Engineering Fair of Florida. Teachers across our district worked to prepare students for the school-level science fairs, and finalists went on to compete at the district and regional levels science fairs. And then the finalists were then invited to compete at the state-level fair. District resource teacher Amanda McKenzie, along with 2 school-based teachers, Karen Perry and Debbie Bohannon, have worked together to lead these students at all levels of the competition. And at this time, we would like to introduce them so that they can present the certificates of recognition to our students who are here.
Thank you, board members, Superintendent Dr. Pace, Mr. Allen, Mrs. Clayton, Dr. Reinhardt, and Mrs. Hickey for your continuous support. Thank you, Neptune Middle School and Mr. Rademacher for hosting our district and regional science fair. Thank you, Mrs. Perry and Mrs. Bohannon, for your countless hours of dedication to our students. The state science fair consisted of over 850 students within 47 counties in Florida. This is a very elite group of individuals. It was great for Osceola students to take part in and have some students place in the state science fair. Students, we appreciate all of your hard work, focus, and time you spent participating in the science fair on top of all of your other schoolwork assigned to you. You should feel very proud of yourselves, and we are very honored you were chosen to represent Osceola County. Dr. Pace and Board Chairman Thacker, would you please come forward to help us recognize our students? Students, please come forward as I call your name. Abrielle Acevedo from Neptune Middle School, state finalist with her project Mint Gum None. Mike Alwidor from Neptune won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center for his project Robo Patrol. Avery Tomritz, who was at a track meet from Neptune, won 4th place in the state in the category of biomedical and health sciences with the project To Dissolve or Not to Dissolve. Gabriella Cruz, who could not be here from Neptune, won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center with her project Color Moods. Madeline Perry from Neptune won 3rd place in the state in the category of engineering for her project Tethered Technology. She also won $400 from a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center. William Sutphen from Neptune was a state finalist and won a special award of $50 cash from Manatee Regional STEM Competition with his project NMS Car Neptune 500. Abdurrahman Bajaj from Neo City was a state finalist and won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center with his project Rethink What You Drink. Samuel Garcia from Neo City was a state finalist and won a special award of $50 cash from Friends of the Science Fair with his project Laminar, The Flow of My Life. Reagan Highfield from Neo City was a state finalist and won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center with her project, Creating Energy 1 Volt at a Time. Ralph Levy from Neo City was a state finalist with his project, Come Flex With Me. Donovan Bohannon from Osceola High School was a state finalist, won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center, and a special award from the American Meteorological Society for his project, Rain Garden Rescue. And finally, Noah Jenkins from St. Cloud High School was a state finalist and won a Lockheed Martin Award from the Orlando Science Center with his project, Dissipation Methods for Computers for Ultimate Economic Efficiency. Wow. Noah just came back from the history fair as well. Let's give these students one more round of applause. And students, thank you for all of your hard work.
And I'd also like to commend Ms. Perry and Ms. Bohannon for taking on the challenge of having our students prepare and represent us at the State Science Fair each year. So thank you to Ms. Perry and Ms. Bohannon.
It makes you look thin. Get tight. They're still gotta get tighter. Some of the shorter ones, girls pushing them right here in front of them.
Yeah, you know what? This is one of those.
You gotta turn sideways. Gotta look right here at the lady with the green sweater. You probably have to walk off into that.
Oh, that's weird.
Thank you all so much.
Just one more little thing. Mr. Allen said I can be really brief, but he did promise me about a minute here. So I just wanted to thank all the people that are behind the scenes supporting us every year, especially Neptune Middle School has sponsored this regional fair at the state level. We're trying to increase it. We increased our high school participation. St. Cloud High School, Neo City, and Osceola High School were represented at the state level. So I'm going back for 15 instead of 12. You have to have at least 100 to get up to 15. We had 100 projects combined with the middle and the high school, and we're looking really forward with our partnership with Neo City and Osceola High School and St. Cloud to increase that. So I just want to let you know that any donations are accepted for the sponsorship, so I don't have to beg for all the awards. I really would appreciate get our name out there, and I really would like us to have a better showing at the state fair and ISEF, which we haven't gone to, and we could have sent 2 kids who really would have made it this year in the big International Science and Engineering Fair. So thank you, and science is the first word in STEM. Just remember.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. And I did, when Ms. Sosa sang the national anthem, I did mention the talent that we have among our 69,000 some odd students, and you've seen 2 different extremes, from the arts to science, and it really is amazing what we have here and the kids that we have here. And I'm take a little privilege. One of those was my great nephew that was up here, Will, in the middle, and I can promise you he did not get that from his grandmother or myself, my sister. So great job to all those kids. We appreciate what they do, and very, very proud of them. And with that, we will, if I find my glasses, we'll move on. What's that say, Colin?
Something about the month of May.
You're no better than I am. Yeah, Mia Overton with the Historical Society will do a presentation declaring the month of May as the Osceola County History Month.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa Liu, and this is Mia Overton, and we're with the Osceola County Historical Society. We want to thank you for recognizing the importance of history tonight and the importance of preserving and sharing our history in Osceola County, especially with our students. Tonight, we want to tell you that we're 70 years old, which is really cool. We were formed back in 1949 when 43 citizens of Kissimmee, Narcoossee, and St. Cloud recognized the importance of preserving and sharing the county's history. They recognize that you create a sense of belonging and a sense of place when you can share with your citizens history and with students and faculty and staff when it comes to looking at our education system here in Osceola County. And we want to tell you about some incredible opportunities you have right now. If you haven't taken advantage of them, we have the Osceola County Welcome Center and History Museum, which is a wonderful place to take students to learn our history. Many field trips have gone there. We hope many of you will go with your families as well. And then we have the Pioneer Village at Shingle Creek, which is another great opportunity to walk through the history of the county. Have you noticed that history never stops happening? And we're able to do this because of your support and because of the support of the citizens and the community of Osceola County, our business partners. So we thank you, every one of you, who play a part in making history. These students just made history tonight, didn't they? So it's pretty cool, and it's our job to try to share that with you. We have our 70th anniversary with some very special events this year, and that includes that we're having a history trivia night in August, and we're having a special museum exhibit and champagne brunch in October, and then our big Pioneer Day, which happens every year, November 9th. So we hope you'll join us for that. And our next event is May 18th, an antique and appraisal fair for the first time ever at Pioneer Village. These are exciting ways to share history, and we thank you for the opportunity and for recognizing the importance of history.
Brings us to Pennies for Patients, Pennies for Pasta Awards recognition. Dr. Respis.
Good evening, Board Chair, Board members, and Dr. Pace. I'm thrilled to be accompanied here tonight by the Pennies for Patients group with the Leukemia Society and the Lymphoma Society. We'd like to thank all of you and all the principals tonight for who participated, but there are 10 of them who rose to the top as far as the participation for this worthwhile company, and we are going to present them. I have Karen Nagy. Karen, you want to?
Sure. Excellent. Let's see if I can get these all up here. Good evening, everyone, Dr. Pace, and all the school board members. Thank you so much for allowing us to come in and speak to you this evening. My name is Karen Nagy, and I am the campaign manager for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Pennies for Patients program. I also have my colleague here with me, Megan Rushlow. We're here this evening to, first of all, thank Osceola County Schools, Superintendent Dr. Pace, as well as Dr. Respis for their support of our program this year. And also to share the impact that Osceola schools are making in the lives of blood cancer patients. And also to recognize some of those outstanding schools from this year and some of those that have shown continued support over the years. This year we had 37 schools from the school district of Osceola participate in our program. 42,000 students raised a total of $50,000 for blood cancer research and patient support. And as you can tell, we are truly making a difference one penny at a time. 42,000 students, $50,000. So it's incredible. And because of your school's support, the students and the families in your community, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is able to provide co-pay assistance, travel assistance, and financial support for urgent needs to patients in our community. We're also able to find new research, such as our new Children's Initiative, in which we are committing $50 million specifically for pediatric research. Our goal is not just for these kids to survive their cancer, but to thrive in the lives after treatment. Thank you for considering Pennies for Patients when you make your community service plans for the school year, for allowing us to be a partner in education, and for supporting our mission. So here are some of the schools that we wanted to recognize this evening. Starting out with, and if you have a representative here, if they want to come up, we do. Okay, great. So we have Sunrise Elementary, who was truly our Rookie of the Year this year. First time ever participating. Can you hold that?
It's okay.
Oh, thank you so very much. You can come up here and maybe we can get it. Can you do that? Yeah, perfect. Excellent. We'll get that to her. Yes. And then we have Celebration School, our top performing school this year, raising $5,800.
We have Westside K through 8 School, who raised over $5,000 as well.
I will represent them because they were multi-booked
I know.
tonight.
Okay,
I will
great.
represent them.
Fantastic. Okay. Bella Lago Charter Academy. Do we have anyone here from there? Excellent. Raising almost $4,000 this year. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Narcoossee Elementary School. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Mill Creek Elementary School. Yeah, thank you so much. Neptune Middle School. I think you have the longest participation with our program in all of Osceola County.
Oh my God.
Continuous through all the years. St. Cloud Elementary School, raising over $6,000. Thank you so much. Thank you. St. Cloud High School. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And Parton Settlement Elementary School.
Everybody, you know the drill. Squeeze in.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much. So nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to take a picture here. Can we take a picture? Oh, yeah, would love to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay, and board, we're going to go backwards one step in the agenda. They spoke about the Osceola County History Month, but there is a proclamation for the board, and
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve Osceola County History Month as designated as May of 2019.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weishauer, the second by Ms. Castillo, to approve the Osceola County Historical Society History Month proclamation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. I apologize for moving too fast there just a minute. That's right. Okay, brings us to administrative appointments, I believe. Dr. Pace?
Yes, sir. Chairman Thacker and members of the board, as you know, we're at that time of the year where while we're wrapping things up and celebrating all of the honors and achievements of our teachers and our students and our staff, we are also launching our plans for the upcoming school year. And it has always been the will of this board and our leadership team to try to have our administrative teams in place as much as we can by the time the school year ends and we get ready to launch our summer training. So most of the recommendations that you'll hear tonight will be for the upcoming school year. I'll make note if they're for immediate. Most of them would be effective as of June 3rd, I believe it is, the Monday of the first week in June, so that we would have transition time for our new folks. Other than the first one, who, and again, these are as one motion, 3.01, Mr. Thacker, so we'll just need a motion at the end.
Okay.
Okay? So if I could invite Mr. Hensley up to the stage, to the podium. It's our stage. Rick Hensley is my recommendation to become our Director of Risk and Benefits. During his career, he has been the Risk Manager and Chief Deputy Commissioner, Risk Management Chief Deputy for Oklahoma County Government. He's been the Human Resources Risk Manager for Accord, the Risk Manager for the City of Battle Creek, Michigan, and the Senior Director of Operations of Care Here since 2015, managing all of their Florida centers. He received his bachelor's degree from the University of Central Oklahoma. We've had a lot of time to talk about his different experiences, both on the District Risk Manager side as well as now on the Health Center Clinic side, and I feel like he'll bring a lot of talent and skills to our growth to help us move forward with our medical and pharmacy plans.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I I have a motion by Mr. Weishager with a second by Ms. Castillo. You want us to wait and do them all at once? We need to wait.
Oh, my bad. Let me just say this then. Thank you. I didn't listen, obviously.
I wasn't going to call you out.
Yeah, well, good. Thank you. Thank you for the time we spent together earlier.
Thank
I'm very
you.
excited about your work and your passion for the work that the superintendent and the board's laying before you. I'm grateful that you're willing to take this position and help lead this very important part of who we are and what we do for the community that we serve and the employees that represent our district every single day. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I've really have felt welcomed by Dr. Pace, by Sarah, by Scott, and Mr. Thacker, and now Tim. Really have enjoyed my time together with you so far. I'm looking forward to the challenge. As we all know, healthcare is a challenge for everyone in all 50 states and probably around the world. But I've had some unique opportunities, and I'm really excited about bringing those opportunities and experiences to this community. I had the privilege of listening to your workshop from a couple months ago, and I have to say I agree with your frustration. I've lived through your frustration as a risk manager in the city of Battle Creek, Michigan, specifically with the growing costs, and it seemed like nothing was working. But we put together a strategic plan and made some incredible progress through the use of design change, through health centers, through all of the above, and bringing it together and really making it a core value of the organization to provide those services. And I look forward to that. I heard that frustration in your voices with the current situation, and I look forward to working with your team, with you as a board, to make it better, to improve the outcome, to improve the experience, to provide a better opportunity for our employees and their families to be able to get good quality health care and not break the bank. So I would like to very quickly introduce my wife, Patricia. She is back there on the third row. She's been my greatest advocate and my biggest cheerleader and the one that keeps me on the ground at times. But we are looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started. I know there's a lot of critical issues that need to happen quickly, and I've been chomping at the bit to get data from Dr. Pace and from Sarah, and they said not till Tuesday night. So I'll be doing a lot of deep
your
research.
inbox in the morning.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I'll be doing a lot of deep research, and I'll be coming back to you with some recommendations that hopefully, as I told Tim earlier, hopefully you'll say yes to me more often than no. And I look forward to it, and I'm really excited and proud to be a part of the Osceola family. So thank you very much, and we look forward to some great times ahead. Thank you.
To wait just a few minutes for it to be official, but in just a few minutes it's going to be official.
Okay.
I will point out, though.
I'll thank you anyway, however you vote.
You can tell how smart he is. He said Pace, he said Graber, he said Thacker. He looked at my name and said Tim.
Hey.
We know we hired somebody.
We know why he said Tim.
I'm still trying to figure out how to say
Weisheimer
my
or
name, so I
Wiesheimer?
don't expect you to know how.
Weisheimer?
Weishire.
Weisheimer is correct.
Weishire. Weishire.
Wise
Keep going
guy.
higher.
You
Keep
pick
going.
it, it's fine.
All right. Saturday Night Live thing there.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Now, if I could invite Miss Brenda Barabee up to the podium, please. Board members, Brenda has been just a valuable resource to this district in many ways, and this year helping Mr. Meechan launch Neo City Academy. But she has expressed a desire to really have a broader impact in the world of career and technical education, adult education, and certainly STEM as our coordinator of career and tech ed, adult education. She has been the chair and associate professor of science and science education at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, a teacher, vice principal, and district director of career and technical education for Fall River Public School in Massachusetts, science and MTSS coach at Kissimmee Middle, district science learning specialist for the Osceola School District, program specialist for district secondary STEM and health science programs, and then currently has served as the assistant principal at Neo City Academy. She is currently an adjunct faculty member at the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences, College of Medicine for the University of Central Florida. She received her bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth and a master's degree in biomedical technology and management from Sal Virginia University. She also earned her education specialist degree in education leadership from Walden University, and I'm really excited about the additional reach she's going to have in this position. So, Brenda?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Pace, school board members, and again, the district leadership team. What a great time to be in the district when you love CT and you love STEM. I mean, there are so many opportunities just to make a huge, significant impact on the district, on the economy in the area. I've had a tremendous year being with Principal Meechan. We had used almost every skill set that I've had in my 30 years of education, really just trying to come up with innovative ways to make an innovative school, but yet to conform to the expectations of what everyone is looking for and what they might think STEM is. And I just look forward to going back to CT at the district level and just learning more, especially with Ms. Stefanowicz. I just want to say that in the district, when people have asked me, how do you know this, or how do you know to do a budget strip, or how do you know this? I know it's Teacher Appreciation Month, but I have to say that I have never had an opportunity where someone hasn't taken the time to invest to teach me their skills, whether it's a bookkeeper, whether it's purchasing, whether it's what the budget strip number is, or what this means. And just today, calling the grants office. So again, there are so many people that have such a commitment to this district and such a passion for their job that if you just ask them to explain the systems in which their roles and responsibilities take place, it already all comes together for that same mission and vision to just move the district forward. So again, it's all those people that have been here for so long and going down to facilities or learning how to transfer a property, or there's just so many opportunities for new people to come to the district and really learn and make a long-term impact on it. And I'm just so appreciative to all of them. And again, I just really look forward to working even harder for the district. Just want to say thank you for my daughters to both be here, Megan and Victoria, both in the district here in two different ways. One is a student and one working here. So just wanted to say thank you so much, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah. Okay.
And now if I can invite Mr. Bill Dwyer to the podium. Board members, as you know, 3 years ago, one of our chief priorities was to really grow our talent pipeline in the area of school and district leadership. And I'm pleased to tell you that yesterday we interviewed for an elementary principal position, and we had 4 internal candidates, all of whom I would attest to you are ready for the job. But Mr. Dwyer is my choice as my recommendation to lead Flora Ridge Elementary School in the coming school year. He has been our assistant principal at Cypress Elementary School while they struggled through that lowest 300 stigma. He and Ms. Raymond did just monumental work with those teachers and students to improve student achievement, and I am confident he can take that same sense of culture and leadership to Flora Ridge. So, Mr. Dwyer.
Mr. Chairman, board members, Dr. Pace, Dr. Fritz, Dr. Respis, assembled district staff, guests, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It is a gratifying moment, somewhat bittersweet, because I am going to miss my Cypress family and the hard work that we achieved, and Ms. Raymond, but I really, really look forward to working with Mrs. Merritt and the fine staff at Flora Ridge. So just want to thank my wife and children who are watching me from home right now, my Cypress family that's here, and my future Flora Ridge family, and my mother and father, Bill and Georgia Dwyer, are also here. So.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dwyer.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, folks.
Now, if we can invite Mr. Dennis Neal to the podium. Board members, Dennis Neal is my recommendation to be an assistant principal at Tohopokalika High School for the coming year. He has been an assistant principal at Deltona Middle, Heritage Middle, Pine Ridge High, and Deltona Lakes Elementary School, principal at Leesburg High, University High, and Heritage Middle, an associate trainer at the Center for Teacher Effectiveness, and assistant principal at Oak Park Middle in Leesburg, Lake County. He received his bachelor's degree in elementary education from Florida Southern College and a master's degree in educational leadership from Stetson University, and I'm confident he will be an asset to Dr. Phelps and our Tohopokalika High School Tiger team.
Thank you, Dr. Pace, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, leadership team. Just thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very much excited about working with Mr. Phelps and the rest of the Tigers. But my experience here so far, including this evening's board meeting, has been nothing short of exceptional, and I commend all of you for the culture that, as a district, you are presenting here and cultivating, because it's unusual for me to be at a board meeting where the superintendent's out ahead of time kissing babies and shaking hands and not afraid and staying in the back somewhere of what may be coming at her later on. So that is wonderful, and same with all of you. I've heard nothing but good things, but even down to your front office receptionist, from the moment I've first stepped foot in Osceola County, everyone here seems to have a very good perception of what it means to be here at Osceola County and have that true spirit of team. And as my now colleagues just got through saying, everyone here has been helpful, always patient to answer questions, spend time and explain things to you. And just, again, I'm very excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to going from good to great with Mr. Phelps and be a Tiger. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Next, it's my honor and privilege to invite Thomas Dunham to the podium. The name Dunham might be familiar. His mom, Judy, who was a great leader at Neptune Middle, is here in the audience with us, enjoying retirement. But it is now Thomas's turn in the seat. He has worked very, very hard at Zenith Accelerated Academy in several positions with Mr. Studley, and is ready to take on the role of assistant principal, and I'm pleased to recommend him board for your consideration. Mr. Dunham?
First, Dr. Pace, thank you very much for this opportunity. Dr. Fritz, thank you. The school board members, I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. I have been a product of Osceola County Schools. I went to Reedy Creek, and I went to Neptune, and I went to St. Cloud High School. I've grown up and lived here my whole life, and I look forward to serving at a school that really touches all of your districts. To my father-in-law, thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. Miss Ratty, you've been here with us this year, and you've been amazing, and I appreciate it. My wife, thank you. I love you very much. My kids, you are amazing. My mom has sacrificed a lot for me, and I can't say enough for her. And I've been with Mr. Studley now for 5 years, and he's helped me a lot, gave me a lot of experiences, and I'm very appreciative to my family, my friends, and all of you guys. So thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Dunham. And now it's my pleasure to invite Miss Remy and Miss Jones both to the podium. We'll do this together. You know, sometimes board members, I do reach out and touch and ask someone to take on a different role, a different responsibility, because number one, it's in the best interest of the district, but also a good fit for what we think will help them along their career path. Ms. Remy currently serves as an assistant principal at Osceola High School. She started as a teacher with me at Point Siena High School, and she has gamely taken on the challenge with your approval board of becoming an assistant principal at Neptune Middle School with Mr. Rademacher's team. And then we have Ms. Jones, who's currently the assistant principal at Bella Lago Academy, who we are asking to assume the role of assistant principal at Celebration K-8 to join Ms. Mannion and her team there. So, board members and Ms. Remy and Debbie, Ms. Jones, thank you for agreeing to go and blossom where we plant you. And that is all, board, if you now need a motion.
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I would make that motion to approve all the recommendations as presented by the superintendent.
Second the motion. I have a motion by Mr. Weishauer with a second by Mr. Soto to approve
discussion.
The superintendent's recommendations. I have a comment, but your discussion, Mr. Booth.
I know I'm late, but I just wanted to recognize somebody who's really awesome, Ms. Dunham. Thank you for all your years of service. And I know I'm missing a lot of people here, but I happen to know her very well. And she worked with my mother over at Neptune for a long time, and she is such an awesome person. And so thank you for all your years of service. So I saw you sitting back there, so I had to do that. I'm sorry.
And I just have a quick comment too, that nothing warms my heart more than to hear multi-generations in this school district. Mr. Dunham, Brenda, you've got a daughter working with the school district, you said, one in school, so it won't be long till she's with the school district. So I think it's a great testament to the district. It's also a great testament to what you have done to show what a career this can be and what it can be to your children. So I appreciate that very much. Board, any other comments? If not, we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. So thank you all very much, and best of luck to each This will bring us to our public comment portion of the meeting, and I know this is also a good time if some of you would like to stretch your legs and make towards the back door. We'd love to have you stay, but we understand. So, see you, Craig.
Was on the tree. Read the tree. Caught the 5 to 5. So I walked from it. 10 up to 5. Is that official?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, good. And I was kissing babies.
I contributed no value.
Somewhat timely, but sort of.
Oh my goodness.
Don't know.
How are you doing tonight? Good. Do you have any good comments tonight already?
That's several.
Oh, yeah, I made 3.
Amazing. Well, that's what you're supposed to say.
Ms. Jackson, if you want to kind of get ready, I'll call on you first for the public comment portion as everybody leaves. Brings us to our public comment portion of the meeting. There I already have a couple sheets. If you do wish to address the board, there should be some yellow sheets in the back by our deputy. Just fill one out and bring them up, and we can still hear those comments. And first off the bat, we have April Jackson.
April Jackson, 722 Mabott Street, Kissimmee, Florida, President of Osceola County Education Association. And Ms. Isaacs just passed out a flyer to all of you for an education summit, which FEA is hosting at the Orlando Hilton, or the Hilton Orlando. At this point in time, today we had over 800 people registered from all across the state, numerous superintendents, school board members, community leaders, worship leaders are all enrolling to go, and I wanted to take this opportunity to extend the invitation to all of you to attend. It is going to be a roundtable activity similar to what both Ricky and Clarence attended a few years ago, but it's on a much larger scale. And we have 3 priorities. I can only remember 2. Funding of education and retention of teachers. And if my memory serves me right, the 3rd is dealing with student achievement. So from what I've heard, this should be a really interesting meeting, and there are a lot of national people coming to visit as well and to participate. They won't be talking to you. They'll be talking with you. Second thing I wanted to do is recognize all the teachers in Osceola County, because this is National Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurses Appreciation Week. It is often difficult for our nurses to be seen. They're always behind the scene, and I want to give them a special shout out because they do an exceptional job taking care of the students in Osceola County. Personally, they take care of my granddaughter who's quadriplegic, and we would be lost without them. So I wanted to publicly thank them.
Thank you.
Thank you, April. Next, that brings us to Lewis Etter. If I said that right. I know you had asked for 7 minutes. We usually only allow 3 minutes in public comment, so if you can shorten it just a hair, we can let you go over just a little bit. We've got a lot on our agenda this evening.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at all. Dr. Pace, ladies and gentlemen of the school board, thank you for allowing me to present here this evening. I'm here for the simple reason that I still believe one person can make a difference in this world. In a nutshell, the program I'm here to recommend speaks to 2 thorny issues that you grapple with year after year. Those are school bus driver retention and student conduct on school buses. These are problems I've spent hundreds of hours studying and thousands of dollars in developing a solution. Over the last 2 years, both here and in St. Louis, Dr. Pace, I sent you an email about this a long time back, so I won't skip that part. But I am presenting this concept program at this year's Florida Association of Pupil Transportation Summer Conference. This distinguished board is getting an exclusive sneak preview. I just gave you a spoiler alert on it at this presentation right now. And you're getting the opportunity to make national news in a grand, positive way for being the first ever school district to deploy this new cutting-edge, safety-focused concept. Before the big reveal, let me first introduce myself. While working for AT&T as a computer telephony network manager for 26 years, I became the volunteer vice president of the St. Louis County Special School District PAC. I joined the PAC so I could do something to give back to my community. I found that working indirectly for children with special needs gave me a noble purpose but was not quite fulfilling enough for me, so I retired early from AT&T to work directly with special needs students as an SSD school bus driver. That's ESE here in St. Louis. That is where I discovered what is most fulfilling to me and hopefully will become the legacy of my life. St. Louis is where my life's new mission began, but it has led me here to Osceola County where my AT&T career began. And here in this room for you to judge if this new age concept has merit and value to the District of Osceola County. My concept is quite simple, easily implemented, and can be virtually cost-free to the school district. This program will positively improve school bus driver retention, improve student conduct on the board school buses, and lead students to say, this is the best school bus ever. What is it? That is a very good question. I'm glad you asked. Think of the Sheriff's Department DARE car and what good service it does to the county it serves. What I'm proposing is that the SDOC, Transportation Department, deploy the equivalent of a DARE car, only in a school bus format and not focused on drug prevention, but on student safety, behavior, and positivity. I call our new very special school bus the CARE bus, which stands for Conduct Altering Rolling Exhibit. The CARE bus concept has already been proven effective on student behavior. The actual education sessions component is developed but yet to be implemented for the first time. The only two things that will distinguish the CARE bus apart from all other school buses on the outside is the chrome wheels and the plastic license plate on the back that will read, "Here comes the CARE bus." The real magic components are on the inside, where there are literally hundreds of magnetic messages strewn across the ceiling with cute, graphic, colorful, witty words of inspiration, motivation, encouragement for education, bus rules, safety, and much more for students of all ages to inquisitively observe. The experience is similar to browsing around in a Cracker Barrel store. In addition to the pre-printed magnet exhibit, there is a 14-inch by 24-inch soft whiteboard on the passenger side dashboard. The driver utilizes this medium for important bus announcements, birthdays, engaging word and math riddles, and so on. All these things combined and a few additional student-driver rapport tricks build a bridge of trust between the driver and students. This improves student behavior over time, which in turn leads to greater job satisfaction among drivers. Drivers need more tools in their student behavior management toolbox, and these magnets are excellent tools for all our drivers. A ride on the CARE bus is an educational and transformational experience, leaving every student. Is my time up?
You're up. Can you go ahead?
Okay. Well, to wrap it up, you see a picture of what it is. It is a complete program. It's just not a bus that's a traveling museum. It's education sessions at schools on given days to teach kids how to ride buses and to behave better on buses so that drivers can be more satisfied and be safer and stick around longer. That's the bottom line.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you.
Board, I just want to make a brief comment. Just, sir, thank you for your passion, and thank you for your willingness to come and share this with us. I know the board will look through what we may do with this, but if nothing else, I want you to hear tonight that I appreciate the fact that you care as much as you do and you're looking to make a positive impact. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't mention that I am a bus driver here now, and, and a lot of this was developed by students here in this district.
Thank you.
And maybe Dr. Pace,
It almost felt like Shark Tank.
we can get this to your group, take a little deeper look and see.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll be sure that Mr. Shatera and Mr. Creech get it.
Okay. All righty. Great job. Thank you very much. At this point, it brings us to our public hearing. We will recess the regular school board meeting and convene call to order the workshop on rules.
Good evening, school board members. We don't have any changes from the workshop, but I'll read the proposed changes into the record. Thank you for your
Before
patience.
you do that, just to be clear, this is a public hearing, not a workshop.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. No worries.
I said a workshop.
Oh, you said workshop. John said it right.
I'm fixing myself. I want to make sure I fix myself for the record, too.
No worries. Existing School Board Rule 3.40, Safe and Secure Schools. The proposed changes tonight coming to you for action after public comment are that this set of changes continues creation of new policy language in order to comply with recent changes in state law and to continue consistency and to provide consistency with district precedent and current practice. This is flowing, of course, from Senate Bill 7026, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act. This proposed change would revise paragraph 5B to clarify that a school administrator must be on the threat assessment team, revises paragraph 6C1 and 6C2 to clarify that some types of emergency drills do not require evacuation. It revises paragraph 6C3 to clarify reporting requirements for emergency drills, adds paragraph 9 to specify requirements for active assailant incidents regarding drills, trainings, code red lockdowns, compliance with related policies, reporting threats, consequences for false threats, and mandatory school environmental safety incident reporting, CESR training for administrators and academic deans. The next two changes that are summarized are for the Code of Student Conduct document. And in general, the changes revise policy within the document to comply with recent changes in state law and to provide consistency with district precedent and current practice. Specifically, there's a clarification of the terms nicotine and vaping devices within the definition of terms and the matrix of infractions and consequences. And just wanted to add as a note that I'm sure you're aware in the current legislative session there are additional changes that will affect this Rule 3.40 and we'll bring them to you in future rulemaking cycles. But tonight this is the set of changes. So I will pause so that you have the opportunity to provide the public hearing comment section and then ask for action afterward.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody wishing to address any of these changes? Seeing, hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. Mr. Boyd?
Yes, sir. So at this time,
you need a motion?
Yes, sir.
On our part, board?
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion by Mr. Weishauer to approve the changes in rules with a second by Mr. Soto. Board, any further discussion or comments? Just one quick comment. I know based on some of the things going on in the state right now with the grand jury investigation and some of that, John, I appreciate you being extremely diligent on the safety stuff to make sure we are in compliance everywhere. And sum that up, if we go to jail, you go with us, just to be clear.
Thank you for that compliment.
If anybody goes to jail, Mr. Boyd goes to jail, the board doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I second that motion.
Yeah.
But the process of a complete review is in process.
We know it is. Not just, I
Yes.
appreciate what you're doing. I feel good that you're the one kind of leading that charge, and you have an attention to detail that not many have, and I feel good with you working on that. Board, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. And thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you, board.
At that, we will adjourn our public hearing on rulemaking and reconvene our regularly scheduled meeting. Just give me a second to get there. Okay, that brings us to our agenda. Any agenda modifications?
Chairman Thacker?
Yes.
I would request that the board table item 16.01, approval of the Employee Benefits Consulting Services Agreement. While Mr. Kreppenbacher and staff have been working diligently with Proventure, that agreement is not yet ready for final recommendation for your consideration, sir.
Okay. Any other further comments or changes? Ricky?
No, I have none.
Oh,
And
I
I
thought you were
will,
gonna make
if
a
you want me to, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, tabling item 16.01 as suggested by Dr. Pace.
A motion by Mr. Booth to accept the agenda with the removal of tabling 16.01 and the approval of the consent agenda with a second by Mr. Soto. Board, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. That brings us to our informational agenda items. Board, there's no one speaking on this tonight, but it's in our packet if anybody's got any comments. If not, we will move on to the regular agenda. Regular item, Chief of Staff for Teaching and Learning, items 15.
Chairman, I would make a motion to approve 15.01.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weissayer with a second by Mr. Booth to approve item 15.01. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 16. Do we need to do these three individually now that we don't have?
Please, sir.
So we're on to 16.02, Board, just to be clear.
16.02.
Board, I'm going to make a motion to approve 16.02 with a brief comment.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weissayer with a second by Mr. Booth to approve item 16.02. Mr. Weissayer, you have a comment?
Yes, sir. Board, just for clarification, this was an area where I had some questions and concerns surrounding this. Had good conversation with Ms. Graber and Dr. Pace. I'm approving this because it is just the beginning of the process of doing some data sharing, but I look forward to additional information coming back to the board to understand the direct benefits we'll be able to realize as a result of this type of partnership.
Okay.
Understood.
Any other further comments, questions, Board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign.
Excuse me.
Motion carries 4.5 to 5-0 with your half vote there.
Don't confuse time.
Chairman, I would make a motion to approve 16.03.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weissayer with a second by Ms. Castillo to approve item 16.03. Board, any further questions, discussions on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. 16.04.
Mr. Chair, I wish to abstain from 16.04 as I work for the company and I have already filed the proper paperwork.
Good.
Right. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve 16.04.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weissayer with a second by Mr. Booth to approve item 16.04. Board, any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 with one abstention. No, brings us to our Information and Technology Services, 17.01. Your pleasure, Board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weissayer with a second by Ms. Castillo to approve item 17.01. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve item 18.06.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Booth with a second by Ms. Castillo to approve item 18.06, which are our facilities items. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0. Attorney report, legal issues. Mr. Kreppenbacher.
Yes, members of the board, in the coming days, you'll receive a call from Ms. Graber and I looking to meet with each of you individually because at the next board meeting, thank you. At the next board meeting, it is anticipated we will bring the broker insurance agreement as well as a proposed health clinic agreement. Needless to say, over the last several months, Dr. Pace, Ms. Graver, and myself have received an extraordinary education in insurance about what we didn't know and what to look for and what to do, along with Mr. Thacker, who's led the effort. And so we want to take you through those agreements to make sure that every detail is understood by every board member. So that's where we're at on that. Your next item, unless there's questions. Yes?
Chairman, I just have a quick comment. My only request, which I know is part of why we are where we are tonight, is just make sure that everything is tight in that agreement, that everything that the board has articulated that we're looking for is clearly articulated in the agreement. And to be honest with you, I will not approve anything short of that, just to be clear.
Mr. Weishar, I could tell you we would not want you to do that, and we actually we gave Dr. Pace a draft, and we thought it was tight. We spent all day retightening, so it's an ongoing, and it's a team effort of all of us, so if we're missing anything, we've worked on so much that please bring it up to us.
Yeah, I will. And I just want to make sure, and Dr. Pace and Sarah both, thank you both for your time and discussion on this item, and Dr. Pace, thank you for your wisdom in holding off on that so that we can address some of those items. Frank, thank you for your work, and I look forward to all of you guys collaborating over the next couple of weeks to get it tight and right.
Oh, that was from before when I needed to adjust the agenda, sorry.
I just saw it. Yeah. Mr. Weishar, the one thing I can pledge to you is when we're done with the agreements, nothing should ever happen again without this board knowing about it ahead of time. Okay? At a minimum. Members of the board, 1902 is the acquisition of, and 1903 are the acquisitions of parcels. We need little spits of land in order to put the light improvements we have to do because of the schools, and I'd ask for your motions to approve those.
So moved.
Why does
Second.
why is one costing us like $2,000 and the other one $10?
The church was very kind and said, we know we're not giving you anything. The condominium association was, we want to make some money. So we had it evaluated. Okay, it was capitalism at its best.
Something more interesting behind it.
That's exactly
I mean, that's what I figured, but I was like, really?
I did make a motion, yes.
We've got a motion. Let's get a second before we do it.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Booth with a second by Mr. Soto.
And just to be clear, the church has been a partner with the school district for a long time because they actually leased the parking lot.
Yeah, well, they sold it at a fair price, $10.
Right.
It was a very fair price.
I'm not complaining about that one.
It's the other one.
Actually,
it cost $10.
I will tell you that other little piece of land, Rhonda and I will tell you, we probably worked more on dealing with that piece of land than we did any property we've acquired in the last 2 years to deal with that homeowners
Let me
group.
not ask about the attorney's fees that are involved. Let's move on with business.
No fees for us.
Call the question.
Board, we have a motion by Mr. Booth with a second by Mr. Soto. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Is that not zero? Okay.
Did that approve both or just the one?
That was just 1902, or was it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're separate, yeah.
We just need to do them separately because they are
Motion to
separate.
approve.
1903.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Booth with a second by Ms. Castillo.
Thank you for
to approve
spending that much
19.03. Any further discussion? I'm thinking not. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion carries 5-0. Superintendent, do you have any other?
Board members, I would just share that at your seats tonight, I left an energy update, Energy Matters. I would like to take just a moment to recognize our energy team. We have Mr. Cavaney here as our director, Chip Bishop. We have Gammy, Shane, and Moses, who have been really dedicated to helping us to better monitor our systems. And as a result, we've already seen over $60,000 savings in less than a month and reduced our usage by over 1 million kilowatt hours. So, thank you, team.
So, Dr. Pace, this new policy of 76, are we applying that to school board meetings as well?
Yes, sir, the
Can't you
school
tell?
district office. And this is not a policy, it was a management decision to try to control these costs. But if you think about it, over $60,000 a month, that's 12 teacher positions in a year that we have the potential to save.
I know, but, it's only May. The warmest months are just
You'll
coming
get
up.
more used to as it gets warmer.
That's what we tell the students. So
Holiday.
I'll deal with it as well.
That's fine.
That's all, sir.
I had a,
I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah, I was. I didn't see it.
no, I want to thank you, Dr. Pace and the team for doing this. And each time that I've reached out and a teacher has approached me and said, hey, my room is too hot, I know you guys have went out there and done the test for them, so I appreciate that and made adjustments if necessary. So I do appreciate that. I will just say, though, I'm fine with 76. That's what I keep my house at. But certainly 80 is not good, and even 78 is not good. So if we know we have some classrooms that are over and over reaching that 78, 79, 80 degrees, then we do need to make those adjustments, and I would urge you to do so.
Absolutely. We are attentive to that, and as I shared with the board earlier, this week with testing, we started the run times an hour ahead of the regular schedule just to make sure that rooms were comfortable for the important state testing, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you.
I don't believe we have any unfinished business.
No.
Jump out there if we do. If not, that takes us to new business. Mr. Weishaar, I know you have an issue to bring to the board.
Yeah, Board, I just want to go back to something that we've discussed previously and something that you know that has been a priority for me, which has to do with creating a business academy or stronger business academy within the school district. I did pull together a couple of data points that I'll share with you if you'll indulge me tonight to just further make the point of how important this conversation is. It doesn't matter what area we discuss in what we're doing in the school district. Ultimately, we know that our stated mission is to create productive citizens that have an opportunity to, as you pointed out even earlier, Chairman, become productive citizens in our community, those that will come back and then lead and serve in our community in different capacities. And being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is one of those areas where I think we can continue to improve. And some of the things that I'll share with you briefly, which I will skim through a lot of data, I'm glad to share with you at another point in time, which comes from the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council, just further strengthens the idea and the need for us as a community to really strengthen our business community and the opportunity for our students to leave our school district and not just become employees for a business, but actually become the employers of the business. And so just a few data points. Based on the annual survey on entrepreneurs, 5.6 million employer firms in the United States in 2016. And the data points surrounding this are interesting. Firms with fewer than 500 workers accounted for 99.7% of those businesses. Those with less than 100 workers accounted for 98.2%. And firms with fewer than 20 workers made up 89%. We know that small businesses really are the backbone of our economy, not just here, but across the country. We know also that they are not only the job creators, but the drivers of economic activity within our community. Small businesses created 1.9 million net jobs in 2015. Firms employing fewer than 20 employees experienced the largest gains, adding 1.1 million jobs. To get into the area surrounding GDP, small businesses continue to be the incubators for innovation and employment growth. During the recent recovery that we went through in our economy, small businesses continue to play a vital role in the economy in the United States. They produced 46% of private non-farm GDP in 2008, which is the most recent data that's available, compared to 48%, which was in 2002. One of the things that I thought was interesting as well, small businesses represent 96% of employer firms in high patenting manufacturing industries. Think about what we're trying to do right here in our own community. So 96% of high patenting manufacturing industries, a percentage remained constant from 2007 to 2012. I won't bore you with more data points because I think you guys more than get the point. But I think what's really important for us is to think about what are the pathways that we're creating. We celebrate as a board the importance of our students being college and career ready and being able to go to a post-secondary education, and we'll continue to support that as a priority. We also celebrate when our students choose to go into the military service and preserve and protect the freedoms that we enjoy and the republic that we have the opportunity to live in. We celebrate when our students are pursuing career and technical education and pathways to go into a skilled trade. One of the things that I think that we can continue to bolster in this district is the importance of creating actual employers in our community. And the opportunity for us to look back, whether it be 5, 10, 15, or 100 years from now in this community and say, we created a strong and robust economy because we made those type of decisions as a board in 2019, 2020, and beyond. So my request to bring it back up is to make sure that it stays on our radar. I will say I had a really good conversation again with the superintendent just yesterday morning surrounding this. My ask is that this board remains supportive of this, of being a priority for us, and continue to advance conversations as the superintendent and staff explore opportunities for us to make this a priority. I'll liken it to two very unique examples that we have so that you guys understand the vision that I have for this. Number one, Osceola County School for the Arts we know is a high-performing school. Part of that has to do with we know we're inviting students to participate in something that they're highly passionate about. The second one would be Neo City Academy. When the idea came up for this, the entire board saw the vision and the opportunity for us to grab onto an idea like this and what it would mean to be able to create that type of education institution right here in our community. I would liken a school for business to the same thing, and I'd like us to continue to pursue this as an area of passion and pursuit. We know that we have now the Junior Achievement Academy at Osceola High School. We know that we have the partnership with Addition, which was the Central Florida Education's credit union at Poinciana High School. And we know that we started a program at St. Cloud High School a number of years ago because at the time we couldn't afford to go with a full, robust program. But looking how we can continue to expand this across our district is a priority for me. I'm hoping it's a priority for you, and I'm just looking for your discussion, head nod, or support on this evening.
How would you propose to move forward? Are you looking at something as a standalone? Are you looking at something as within another entity? Are you looking maybe like a JA to be that thing?
Sure. So I will tell you, and I think you guys know, going back a number of years, my original idea surrounding this was a standalone school, much as I articulated with OXA and with Neo City. I did have a conversation with the superintendent yesterday, as mentioned, that we could look at making this a standalone, much like exists at Oak Ridge High School, which we're familiar with, the robust program they have in partnership with Junior Achievement there. The truth is, board, I'm willing to go in whatever direction makes the most sense for the district, but is going to achieve the greatest good for our students to pursue these opportunities. If I were to say to you exactly what I want, it would be a standalone school. However, I understand there may be barriers and limitations to that, and so I'm willing to be adaptable of how we get there, and that's where I'm looking for your ideas, support, buy-in, and direction as we move the conversation forward.
I know you brought this up several years ago, and I don't know what happened. We need to. I'm on board with you on this one. Yeah. We can figure out how to keep the conversation going and figure out how to get Dr. Pace or her team or us. So let's go down the path and see what we can find. See, give us options, I guess.
Yeah.
How to best do it.
And to answer the question, although probably rhetorical, the reason it didn't go anywhere was I yielded on the fact that at the time we just did not have the bandwidth and capacity to deal with it. And as much as I believe in it, I felt like that there were other priorities at that time that should take precedent over this priority. However, I look now and say there is no better time for us to really move forward full steam with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm supportive.
Good. Thank you.
What you need?
Thank you.
I do.
You want? Okay.
Dr. Pace, you have what you need?
I do.
Okay.
You what? She has what she needs?
She has what
Okay.
she needs.
Ms. Castillo, the Guardian program you wanted to discuss.
Yes, so just briefly, I know now that the legislative session is over and SB 7030 will likely become law, I would like to have further discussion on the terms of SB 7030. I do want to state publicly that I am very grateful that the legislature has given us, the board, the final say on how we implement the law. However, with that being said, I do think that we need to discuss how we will take the lead in this initiative and within our scope. I like to, honestly, what I'm looking for is to add this to the next agenda item, and I'm looking to exclude our educators from participating in the Guardian program.
don't see any lights, so.
Go ahead, Mr. Soto.
May I? Thank you, thank you. You know what, I'll be surprised if any of the board members have not yet been or have not been carefully, following everything that's been going on in the legislature regarding all of the bills that affect our school district, but this one in particular has, it's quite interesting, and here I will say this, I believe, and I want to credit Ms. Castillo, because I think that the public in every school district, maybe in Florida, but I know for certain here, really needs to hear from leadership, and that means us, on what we perceive, what concerns us, what is it that we see in this bill that can help us maybe with our security concerns, or that could give us concerns. And I don't know, we really need to wait until we get a lot of people coming in and flooding our public minutes. And I agree with Ms. Castillo that we ought to go ahead and have an opportunity to discuss it if that's what you wish. If you remain silent, be silent about it. I think that I appreciate what Ms. Castillo done. I support putting this as an action item in the agenda next board meeting. So if anybody wants to discuss any particulars about it, here's the time. I put in enough time and effort in analyzing, and I could share those concerns with you or not. But I'll give you an opportunity to speak before I go ahead and tell you where I'm leaning at so that you can help me think this through.
Mr. Weiser?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Castillo, for bringing this up. Is it your intent that it would be added to the next agenda as an item to preclude teachers?
That would be my intention, although I know that we could have a discussion about it, and I think that if anybody is not ready to make that decision, then we should workshop it at least. This is imperative, and I think that we need to give it the attention that it deserves. So I would like it to be an action item to exclude our teachers from the Guardian program, just our teachers, that's all I'm asking. But if we need to have further conversation, then I would prefer to have a workshop with the stakeholders in Osceola County so that we can further discuss it and everybody can have their points and their questions answered.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I understood where we were going. I certainly don't have a problem with the school board having a workshop to discuss this further, if so desired. You and I may end up being on opposite ends of this particular item. There's a lot more to the discussion and a lot more to the intent of the legislature for me to just automatically come out and say no. I think in a lot of ways it undermines the intent that the legislature is trying to accomplish, which also supports the recommendations from the MSD Commission, which then also supports the overall direction of trying to make sure that we're creating additional security measures at our schools. What I do know is that the topic is it's important, it's timely, and it's also concerning to people on both sides. And I think the only way that a body like ours comes to the right position on this is with having open, honest, and objective conversations surrounding the pros and cons of both sides of this to come to the right place. So I welcome the conversation, to be really honest with you. I welcome learning more about your viewpoints on why you believe that the position that you're taking this evening is the right position for this body to consider. I certainly have a reason and rationale that I would be glad to articulate during the workshop of why I think there may be some flexing to that position that may ultimately bring us to the right resolution as a body, but I think it's a great conversation.
Yes. Thank you.
Mr. Soto?
Do you have light on?
I do not.
No.
Nobody has light on?
You're
Yes,
next.
back to me.
Back to you.
You have the
I
light on.
propose that we put an item on the next school board agenda, specifically that the district will not participate in the Guardian program that puts guns in classrooms.
Well,
That's what I would like to be. That's what I would like to go ahead and have a vote on. If you want to discuss that prior to the vote, by all means. You want to discuss some of that now?
okay.
We're ready.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, the chairman would have to add that to the agenda, is that
And that's
correct?
what I'm.
but let me make a comment. I hear
That's why
what
my light was on, specifically for that. All right?
Dr. Pace, I see your light, but I've got a comment first. I will tell you this is a big issue. It's a big political issue. I have extremely strong feelings on this topic, which I've expressed many, many times. That being said, I'm not ready to vote on it. I'm ready to have a workshop with some of the stakeholders and talk about it before I bring it up for a vote, because right now my vote would probably not be the way that I think my vote should be without having a further discussion that's kind of prepared for, as opposed to this where we haven't had much time to really. There's some things I need to know that are, quite frankly, some of them are political within the state with the legislature and other things. I need to understand why, what the advantages or the pros and cons of a board making a decision and drawing a line in the sand versus where we're at right now, which is exactly what you're saying. We don't have any armed teachers. I realize at some point we're going to have to do that, but my preference would be to get a workshop on the agenda at a, as soon as we can. If we can do it at the next, I can't remember I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I don't know what they are. I mean, I don't want to have a workshop in November, but if it can't be the next meeting, we can go ahead and get it on there. So that's just my feeling. Dr. Pace, I'll come back to you, Mr.
Okay.
I just simply wanted to share that Senate Bill 7030 has not yet been signed by the governor. We do anticipate that it will be, at least there's all likelihood that it will. And there are several facets to that bill beyond just a decision about guardian or no guardian or teachers involved in guardian programs or not, particularly as it relates to charter schools. In fact, I just asked Mr. Kruppenbacher today to review the analysis that we have from Joy Frank from FADS. I encourage you to also look at the FSBA side and their analysis. And it may be that this board will want to consider multiple decisions or options for our charter school boards to decide, and then this school board to make a decision for district schools. I'm not advocating one way or the other, but I just think there are some facets to that I would be happy to try to be prepared for a workshop. And I know our City of Kissimmee police folks are here. I feel confident that our sheriff and St. Cloud Police might also want to be involved in that stakeholder conversation if it's the pleasure of the board.
I can tell you I would like all three of those units involved in that conversation. Mr. Booth?
I'm glad Dr. Pace went, because that's what I was going to say. I think there's a lot of moving parts here. I mean, I've made it very clear that I think the best situation is to have a police officer or deputy sheriff in each one of our schools, but I also understand that we may come to a point where we do have to make these decisions. So I can tell you, Ms. Castillo, even though I respect your points and what you're trying to do here, certainly I would be on the opposite side of where you're at this time. So I think there's a lot still to come and a lot for us to discuss. So I think it'd be way too early to actually to vote on any sort of resolution if that's what you're asking. So that's my part.
Mr. Krabbenbacher?
Yeah, Mr. Thacker, I'm legally recommending you have a workshop. I was going through the bill, and what Mr. Soto raised, there's a real issue with it, but whatever decision you make, you have implications to the decisions as it relates to charter schools, different sections of employees, et cetera. And I feel better legally really we just got it, being well briefed to talk with you about the entire topic and having the community's input and saying, it's your decision now, but you realize how it all ties together, because we're looking at this, so in light of doing our audit and making sure everything is tied together. And I would just support totally legally that you have that workshop.
And those are the reasons why I want to have the workshop, is so we can get all the facts and make sure that we're not missing things. It's not that I'm afraid to have a vote on it. Actually, I would say the exact opposite is the case. But I want to make sure I understand the ramifications of anything that we do, and I want to make sure I understand the political ramifications that come from our legislature, who gives us our money and our budgets, to be quite honest. So with that, I think, is everybody okay with the workshop first? And then
Yeah, I'm fine with the workshop, obviously. I think that having all of the stakeholders present would be beneficial for everyone, including myself, of course. But I would request that we have that as soon as possible, as soon as we can all have it, just because with this kind of mandate, it has to be implemented. And there are parts of that that probably we really need to think extensively about. And I don't want to be making this decision in August when it has to be implemented as soon as possible.
I agree. I don't think anybody's asking to hold off on that law. I would like the governor to see the governor's signature or veto before we step out too much. And board, just a second, board's up to you. I am fine to we don't have to have the workshop on the day of a board meeting, and I'm fine to have one at a time that works for us after that.
You've got a lot of folks that you have to coordinate with here, so I don't know if we could absolutely pick a date tonight.
Yeah.
I am going to need some options, board members. Remember that we are moving into graduations.
Yep.
So May 21st.
Tanya loves it when we give her options.
May 21st is our next board meeting. It's at 3 o'clock because we have the Zenith and OVS graduations that evening. There is the Osceola update that morning at 11:30 that I'm thinking many of us may go to. It's sponsored by the Chamber as always. I don't know if you want to try to do a morning meeting, for example, on the 21st, if you want to get it expedited. I will be unable to participate in a board meeting or a board workshop the rest of that week because on Thursday we start graduations at 9:30.
Could we possibly just shoot? I don't know what board Memorial Day week is the next week, right? Where we're off on Monday.
Correct. So I don't know if you want to look at the 28th.
You out that whole week? So maybe we can go to that following week and start looking right now.
The first weekend in June.
Yeah, well, first I was talking the 4-day week. If we're all here, I could meet like on Wednesday or Thursday. Or do y'all want to go the 20, well, I misunderstood. Deborah, did you say you could be there the 21st or not?
I could be there on the 21st if you did something in the morning.
What day, is that Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday.
And we have a board meeting at 3. An early board meeting.
You have a board meeting at 3. The legislative update from Osceola County is at 11:30.
I'm just going to say now, once we get into that June timeframe, you can set a date. I'm not going to know for sure if I can be here or not. That's just the way my professional schedule works that time of year. So those couple of months right there where I can't.
I want to throw something out to y'all just to get you. Here I've got a question on that, and I'll yield to whatever y'all think. This is a pretty big topic, and if you start having that meeting in the morning, you've precluded a bunch of people from not being able to come, particularly our 7,000 employees or 8,000 employees. I don't know if they would come or not come, but I can tell you when we do these things and shut them out.
Do it in the evening sometime?
That would be my preference. Does evening work for law enforcement, or does it matter? Will you?
So this matter is so important, we will make whatever time.
That's what I figured.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what, your pleasure, what do y'all think of evenings versus during the day?
I will make arrangements with work to be available whenever you guys are available, so I will yield my time to when it's best for you guys.
I only have the one meeting in June, that's it. And then you have a July, but you have 2 meetings in July?
We can't wait until July.
Look at me.
No, we can't.
It's got to be June.
Look at me.
Early June.
Remember that should the board decide to provide opportunity for a guardian program, either for the district or for charter schools, the required training is 144 hours.
Gotcha.
And that's after they have, the candidates have undergone psychological evaluations and those types of screening processes.
What about the evening of the 20th, which is a Monday night?
I can do it. Well, I'll make
We have
arrangements.
We have OTEC graduation.
OTEC and ALCO.
Oh, okay. I had it. Oh, shoot.
Can you guys do the morning or afternoon of
We
the
would
20th?
it needs to be in the evening is what. Mr.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Y'all, if I think that, but it's up to you guys. If y'all all say,
Okay.
what's the governor's time frame to sign, so we know we got that done one way or the other?
I think it'll be
Isn't there a
pretty soon.
time period, 14 days or something?
He
like
does, it is, there is a
Yes.
time.
He's got a time limit where
I
it
don't
becomes,
remember what it
where it
is.
becomes automatic. It's either 14 or 21 days, I think. Frank, do you know? Frank,
don't
come on,
remember.
you're in with the
Is it
governor.
14? I think John knows.
I can tell you it's getting signed.
Well, I'm
I have no doubt.
not necessarily thinking that's not going to happen either. See, that whole 20th, there's a graduation every night. Y'all tell me if you want to do it there. We'll do it whenever you want.
What time are, Tonya, what time are expulsion hearings?
Why can't we set it for
8:30?
the morning of the 21st? See if we can get the folks here.
It'll be on the governor's. It's already there, but the governor has to sign it 10 days. 10 days after it's transmitted, which would have been Saturday, which would have been the 4th, the 14th. Let's say the 15th. It would need to be signed by the governor. I'm thinking the 20th.
Miss Jackson? Do you have an opinion on a day meeting versus a night meeting on this one?
I will be flexible on it.
What about the fact that teachers are still in school? Do you
I
think?
already have a survey of the teachers completed. I had over 1,000 teachers participate in the survey.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to not do
Well, I
this
would suggest-
until December because we can't
I
find a
know
day.
because it's a
Yeah,
great
we would have to
timeframe,
implement it in
and
August.
My schedule's going to get wacky in June. I mean, I would, and just my suggestion that I'm going to put out there is the morning of the 21st.
I'm okay with that.
Make it work.
I mean, I feel better with Ms. Jackson's comment on that. Huh?
Your school day
It-
for us.
Well,
Running it up.
it's just, it's,
We'll make it work, guys. We're flexible.
all right, can we look at possibly 9 o'clock in the morning on the 20th? What do y'all think time-wise?
The meeting starts at
11:30 is the legislative update. Your board meeting is at 3 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
I would suggest 8 o'clock.
I mean, I can meet as early as you want to meet.
We've done 7 before. I'm on.
We could always choose the rodeo diner, Clarence. No.
Oh, please, have
That works for me. Let's shoot for, I mean, when it is a public meeting, we do have to be cognizant of the public's ability to get here and participate. So,
Yes.
right, and hopefully, I mean, you've got one here, hopefully, that says they'll work with us, hopefully.
I feel fairly certain we will hear that same response.
Me too. Do you have you don't have any concerns about an 8 in the morning meeting? No,
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
My hunch is that will be echoed twice. So,
Mr. Thacker, could I suggest for the board that at the start of that workshop, Dr. Pace and I take a very brief time to outline what the law requires and what are the decisions that the board has
that's what I want to
make.
hear before I even start making
That way,
decisions.
we're all on the same page in the room on what has to be done.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
All right. And then, Mr. Thacker, one point of privilege. I just want to publicly say to the board, I see one of the city attorney members from the city of Kissimmee. I wanted to thank Ms. Thacker, Don Smallwood, and Olga. They have been great to work with in terms of getting things done between the school board and the city. And thank you, and the police department too, but thank you, Sue.
That's Miss Dorn, by the way.
It's true.
I just know her as Cecilia.
Okay, Ms. Castillo, this was your item. Are you satisfied where we're at?
I am satisfied, board. Thank you.
Okay, brings us to, I've gotten lost here. Brings us to Maya Durham. This is your time, huh?
We can do them after her.
We've just done our board member comments.
I have two to do.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Let's do Maya first.
Yes,
We'll
I'm
go
fine
back.
with that.
It'll go out of order limit, so. If you
Wow.
have any?
That was a lot. It was so interesting to watch. Thank you so much. Wow. First of all, just thank you again for this experience. I wanted to touch on a few things that were said earlier in the meeting. A lot of people made it very clear that Osceola is a family to them. I think that's very clear in the district and the admin, but I really think that it would be beneficial to you and to the students if you made a more direct connection with more of them. I genuinely feel that I don't deserve to be here. It should be someone who has more issues and has more that they want to speak about. I just feel like my principal chose me because she knew I wasn't going to say anything stupid, you know.
Jury's still out.
Exactly.
You're not done talking yet.
Exactly.
You have a microphone.
Exactly. I don't know, that was one of my points is instead of maybe being appointed, maybe it could be an application process or something different in the future maybe. When I first got this position, I was excited, but I anticipated that my peers were going to be like, oh, that's lame. So many people were so jealous. So many people wanted to be here. Were jealous of our friendship when they saw us at the scholarship event. So one of the reasons why I think it's important to have a more direct relationship between the board and the students themselves is that there is a disconnect somewhere, and I think it's in the administration of the schools. There somehow is there's a trade-off between it's a district thing and I said so. It's always a trade-off between those two words, and it kind of gives the students a negative connotation of the district board members, which is totally unjustified because you guys obviously care so much about the students.
That's a very smart thing to say.
Oh, thank you.
That's why we're friends.
Yes. It's just so obvious that you're passionate about it. So my recommendation as a student is to do something like a highlight reel or something of these streamed videos that you have going on, because obviously we're not going to sit and watch the whole thing. But if you did like some sort of edited, some sort of edited video where it's like the most important points, not where you're like, okay, approve, but the most important parts, the parts where you're actually talking, the parts where we can see your individual personalities, that would be really important and really beneficial to the students. I think even if it was some sort of mandated thing, no one's going to care. No one's going to be like, oh, we don't have to watch that. People would love it, I swear to you, especially people in my school, Osceola County School for the Arts. He said earlier, he was like, oh, you said the Pledge of Allegiance without any notes. I'm so proud of my school because my school has taught us to be individuals and great members of society. We have to learn the national anthem and sing all 4 parts and everything. So I think that maybe it's just my school that's a different breed, but we definitely want to hear more from you personally. And I know you have a lot on your plate, so I really think that maybe like a more streamlined video that we can watch would be a great way to connect personally.
If you go back on YouTube, there's some highlights from this board from like 10 years ago. Don't watch
That is not accurate.
That's a whole different.
But basically, my point is like right now, in my school at least, Deborah Pace is the face of the board. You know what I mean? I had no idea what the levels, what the positions, what the job titles or whatever were. It's always her. It's just her. And not that I don't love you, but I am so excited to meet all of you and to see all your different perspectives. To touch on the temperature thing, a lot of people are, I don't want to say disappointed, but confused student-wise. And like I said, people brush it off and they say it's a district thing. And it's not something that should be perceived as negative because all we want to know is why. And when you said that it can save potentially 12 teacher positions, that is amazing and we care about that. We care about our teachers. It's just some disconnect with, I think it's the admin doesn't want us to say anything to you guys that makes them look bad or anything, but that's not our intention. We just want a more direct relationship with you all. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
And the answer is you can say anything to this board you like.
Oh, thanks.
As long as it's nice stuff.
I just think it should be more like.
Everybody else is fair game.
Right.
I'm fragile.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about other people, maybe an application process, but I will tell you from my viewpoint, I do consider the person that's selected as a privilege.
Yes.
And I think it's a privilege that's earned. And I believe you and the others that have been here so far, certainly by their style and behavior and dignity and thoughtfulness, it clearly earned that. So
thank you.
I hear what you're saying, but I do think it's a privilege, and I do think there's a reason why you are here. And I hope, and I don't believe it's because they're afraid of what you could say. I don't believe that.
Right. No. But I don't know.
I'm very confident in your talent.
That's my piece.
Yeah, and you've been my favorite student up here for the last 2 meetings. It's been great.
Thanks.
Ms. Castillo, you have a comment?
I do not.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Called on you and you.
So let me be clear here. I totally agree with the workshop. I think it's a good idea. I'm looking forward to hearing from Mr. Krupenbacher about exactly what we're dealing with and, the proper wording and how the rule structures would be. I'm also very clear that I'm very, very much interested, and it's paramount in my concern, the ramification in our students before anything else. Right now, of a guardian, of bringing firearms into our classrooms. That's my quote.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine.
My quote was, to not participate in the Guardian program that puts guns in the classroom. I think that's very specific, and I think I'm not really invoking any other part of the bill or any other laws that are being contemplated before the governor at this point, specifically to that. And the reason is because I took the time to really research the issue, okay? This is not something that just comes out as a whim. This is from careful analysis that I feel that any school district, and I hope this one will never make such a horrible mistake of arming our staff to bring in firearms into a classroom. It's not a matter of but when there will be blood on our hands. And so just so you know where I stand, because I'm going to make it very clear here to you and to the public, I would never support any school board policy that brings firearms into our classrooms. This comes from analysis and from passion, which is very rare. But here, when I'm thinking about what can happen to our children, to staff, to people that want to work in peace, that are dedicated to the sharing and the exploration of knowledge, won't happen. Not under my watch. Thank you for allowing me to comment, Mr. Thacker.
What you're here for.
Good.
Did one of you two have a comment?
I did. On a lighter note,
Yes.
Shifting gears.
St. Cloud and Harmony High School.
I'm very sorry I didn't let her go last.
Are these positive comments?
Because I missed that, so too bad. One is a positive comment. One's actually something I did want to bring up. St. Cloud and Harmony High School unified cheerleading team competing in the state finals Special Olympics on Saturday, May 18th. So
cool.
I just did want to bring that up. That's my District 5 peeps over there. No, I've been in the community. Several APs that I've talked to, administrators, talked about bringing in kids, and I always ask, where are they from? Where are they coming from? But I've heard from several different administrators that getting an unusually high number of kids from Venezuela, and I completely understand from what's going on over there. I was just wondering if there was something that maybe we should do as a district. Do we need to reach out? Is there something we could do? And I don't mind helping to put something together that we could bring those families together, maybe in one of our schools, and those folks that are new. And I know we have teams, fit teams, and I know we do all that. But just as a district, you mentioned being a family, to just kind of welcome them to the family and make sure they know that they're welcome here in Osceola County, and we're glad to have them. I didn't know if there's something more that we could do, because I know that many of these families are going through a very stressful situation at this time.
We certainly can explore that with Ms. Campbell and our special programs team. We have already put some things in place. A large population has been at Kissimmee Elementary and Kissimmee Middle. We're offering some ELL classes there, as well as support for adults. But I'll certainly follow up, Mr. Booth, if that's the will of the board, to see if there's something else that we should do on a more global nature.
I'm all in. I like that thought.
I know sometimes if just the leaders in the community, you, Dr. Pace, this board, reach out and say, hey, we're here to support you. We're glad you chose Osceola County to be your home, and maybe one day you want to go back, or maybe you want to stay and join the Osceola family. So, but certainly whatever you want to do, that we're here to support you and your children and educate them while they're here.
Thank you.
Mr. Weisser? Anybody else? If not, I believe, where are we at here? I believe we will recess this meeting and continue on with an executive session, and I immediately after that adjourn this meeting.